right, cool. Got 17 people. Give them another sec to join in. So I don't have a whole lot today on the OpenPilot front. I'll do a quick 099 update. We'll see if Yacine will pop in here and give MLSim / model update. If not, give a brief overview on that. He's also got some exciting news that told me not to share until we have the blog post, but maybe we can hint at it. Yeah, kind of seems like people are still joining. Give them a sec. Give them a sec. Anything anybody wants to add to the agenda in the meantime? All right, seems to have stabilized. Guess we can start here. Fix audible video and new connect. Great. Yeah, we'll do new connect after the 099 update first, and then do new connect. New connect. All right, so 099. To give a reminder, what we've been doing now is put the stuff that's coming in the release notes, so that people know what to expect. So this is like kind of a high level version of the milestones. So the highlights are the Tomb Raider model. I'm sure a few of you have driven on those. They're available on a branch. Yeah, so Harold's been pushing those. Harold's working really hard on those. He's really focused on longitudinal right now. Lateral still has some regressions that we have a good idea. Oh, it's a noticeable improvement along. Yeah. So we have a good test for longitudinal now. So I can share that. Let me pull that up from Slack. So Tomb Raider is partially MLSim. So it's not the full MLSim that we were trying to ship earlier. Let's see. Let's find this. We have a new intern here who's working on longitudinal tests. Download that. Oh, it's an MP4. It's not a GIF, but that's fine. So the new longitudinal test. So you guys know we have I've showed you guys like the in the loop test we have for driving behaviors, and they're like little you give them like little unit tests for specific units of driving behavior. And they're more, obviously, they don't provide a complete picture of how it'll perform. It says 0 seconds long. Oh. It plays on my computer. Let me yeah, maybe a Discord thing. I don't know where else I can try one more time. I can also just open it for you guys in Chrome, I guess, and just show you if that doesn't work. Yeah, it still didn't work. Yeah, show it on screen. Let's show it on screen. Oh no, does Chrome not want to play it either? Okay, we'll come back to that. Well, maybe when somebody else is talking, I'll try to re-encode it, something else. But yeah, the thing that let us really ship laneless was like these nice hugging tests that showed like where like the lane positioning that the model will converge to from various starting points. So these like really simple tests really help drive big improvements in the model. And then yeah, so you're saying how is it half MLSim? So the rollout is still done. We still use TinySim for the actual images, but MLSim is used to supervise. So like the recovery comes from MLSim. So it kind of splits up, like, when you do a refactor and you get really excited about your refactor and you're like, all right, let's just go for it. Let's ship the whole thing. And then, sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Usually, the probability of it working scales with the size of the refactor and the scope of it. So obviously MLSim is like a total rewrite of how we train models. So you see all these little issues. So the whole autonomy team is kind of working on shipping individual pieces of MLSim, and we're finding all sorts of little issues with those individual pieces. So you should start to see like these start to compound. And once we ship the Tomb Raider models, that'll be a very nice path to like essentially half of MLSim will be shipped at that point, and then it's you know we will have validated a whole half of the new stack, which will be really nice. And then you can expect we can maybe have some more expectations on when MLSim will actually ship in its full form, and we can remove TinySim. You can download the video and play it local. Okay, cool. Yeah, just download the video and play it. Weird that it doesn't work like that. But this is done using Carla, the Carla simulator. If anybody's ever played around with that, we used to have it in OpenPilot for a bit, but it was just like it's not easy to run. It's MetaDrive is a lot better for the like OpenPilot use case. Anyway, that's the Tomb Raider update. We're going to try to ship like way better experimental mode for Tomb Raider. Lateral will hopefully be a bit better. The autonomy team is now dailying the Tesla Model Y that we recently bought. So there's some of the like the low speed issues and stuff are a lot more obvious in the Tesla. And you can really feel what the model wants to do. So Shane's working on bridging the gap between the Tesla. Shane had, before the autonomy team was dailying it, Shane was daily driving the Tesla, and I think he's got a whole lot of inspiration for things he can ship to the other cars. Oh, nice. Cool. Thanks for re-encoding that. So this latest one plays. Maybe I can download that and then show it to you guys. Let's try that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Oh, cool. So this works. So there was like this test didn't work for the longest time, and it would steer around this car actually. And the bug ended up being that the brake lights were off. And it would just like go kind of towards the right around this car very consistently. The test in the car is going to get more and more aggressive when it comes to different situations it faces. So like we don't have a ton of these little scenarios. They're more so just to see, to validate like very basic behavior. And then we have, I think I've showed analyzed lat before. You can probably scroll up in this chat, see those kind of reports. And those are used to get a better overall picture. But yeah, when we're making like big changes like MLSim and Tomb Raider, these little units really help get a picture of like, can these models, do they understand driving at all? And then to what degree do they understand driving? Is it like, do they have some recovery pressure? Stuff like that. So whenever you're doing a refactor, you generally want like the simplest test you can possibly get. Just like, does this thing vaguely work at all? And then you kind of iterate on your tests as you get further along. You mentioned Shane has some ideas of improvements for other makes. Yeah, as far as the Tesla inspiration. So one of the things, so I shipped steer at standstill a couple weeks ago for some cars. We just have like all these like little things, and the reason we didn't steer at standstill before was just like some cars fault at standstill, and like the obvious thing to do back then was just to say like, all right, when we're at standstill, just give up. Some cars fault, like we're not going to do anything anyway. So we're starting to slowly like remove these things, and we want to. And there's certain things that have leaked into the car abstraction layer that really have nothing to do with maximizing the car's quality. As far as like that's the really beautiful thing about the OpenDBC abstraction. We want OpenDBC to essentially be some nice layer on top of your car that allows you as much control as we possibly can over these cars. And we used to do things like this no steer at standstill just because some cars fault. Like the Tesla right now is nerfed at low speed because the policy just like has no idea what to do at low speed. And you don't really feel this in most cars because they don't have enough torque at low speed. So we're removing stuff like this, such that, like imagine you had the FSD policy. Like FSD is really incredible, right? FSD 13 is really good. Imagine you had the FSD policy and you wanted to ship that to even just like the Tesla, but using OpenDBC to talk to the car. We want to fix all those things. There's like a whole bunch of little things where the experience will be noticeably worse. And we're fixing those on the Tesla, and then we will now bring those to other cars, whether it's steer at standstill, maximizing the torque at low speed. Um, and we may still have to nerf the low speed stuff further up the stack, but then at least it's like nicely abstracted such that, um, like for a long time, we didn't, for the taco drive, we massively increased the low speed torque on the EV6. And we've just never been that interested in shipping it because the policy really struggled at low speed. So now we have line of sight to like really improving the policy in these ways. And Tomb Raider, we hope really will just start to see these improvements. But yeah, we're starting to fix these abstractions such that like you can imagine you have the FSD policy. Like imagine FSD is OpenPilot and you still have OpenDBC to talk to the car. OpenDBC should not be limiting, like there should be essentially no diff. Um, so yeah, those are some of the things. The control is just so tight too. It like really gives you, it's like an existence proof for really, really great lateral and longitudinal controls. So like we can pull up the longitudinal maneuver report. Where do we, that is in OpenDBC data. We got to get this to opendbc.com soon. Data. So like here, let's pull up Tesla. Like look at these Tesla controls. Where is, so AEGO. Okay, so I think AEGO, that's just the Kalman filter overshooting. No, it actually does overshoot in this test. Yeah, so like this is just like a good sign that says like, OpenDBC on the Tesla is still like not really maximizing the Tesla, but you still get a good feel for how responsive this car is. And it gives you a good thing to target with the other cars. Like let's pull up the Corolla, for example. Let's do like this creep maneuver. Like look how broken this looks compared to the Tesla. Yeah, look at that. Like it's just broken. The Tesla, like, it overshoots a bit, but the Corolla is just broken. Like it can't creep. So those are the kinds of things that the Tesla's like really inspiring on the car side. Yeah, so that's Tomb Raider. We expect many, many more iterations of Tomb Raider. I think Harold's like shipping one of those like once a day or something, or more often. What else we got? Lag D. Unclear. Like there probably won't be like a very noticeable improvement. But I mean, some cars are like way off. I can show you guys. Let's pull one more thing from Slack. Show you guys this lag D. This is on the internal comma fleet. I'll pull it up. Pull it up here. So you can see, like, some of our cars are way off from the fixed value. So it's unclear how much of a difference this will make in controls. Sometimes it makes a big difference. Sometimes it doesn't make a huge difference. But these values just being correct and learned per platform just kind of completes the lateral control stack such that basically everything, all the parameters are essentially learned online. Instead of just like somebody looked at a plot once, or somebody didn't even look at anything. They copied it from another car port. They totally forgot about it, or they didn't know how to set it. No, this is yeah, seconds. Sorry, yeah, it's seconds. Like look at the lag on some of these cars. Like the Bolt is almost 600 milliseconds. That's crazy. Yeah, so those are kind of the two big ones. We got the Tomb Raider model. We got lag D. I think Casper's going to try to enable that soon. How to fix the orange message steering unavailable. Open a GitHub issue. You can head to the dev OpenDBC car channel for that. So those are the two big ones. Shane's also working on safety 1.0. Yeah, Maxime's working on some testing stuff. That's kind of 099. And then hopefully there's just straight to 010 after that. But, you know, we've been hoping for 010 for a while. Also, the online lag will take in data to fix these on each platform. Yeah, we're also like we have all these like learners, and it's not clear what progress they're in. We're gonna, I think, throw these. Might add something to the settings so it has like progress on how much and it, like whether it's converged. When we have spending release again, it's towards the end of this month. End of this month. How's it going with degree-based tuning? I don't know what that means. I assume you mean angle. I don't know. Those. We are not actively working on these Subarus. Cool. So that's the 099 update. We may also we're gonna I think try to generate a new training list, based on all the Firehose data, which will be cool because there should be way more diversity in the training set. We're still very interested in like tall car data and stuff. So we think we can improve tall car performance too, by curating the training set a bit more and with pulling a lot more data from tall cars, such that the tall car thing should just like not be an issue anymore. And then hopefully we're gonna cross our fingers here. Mitchell will get around to shipping bigger vision models. So we're already burning more power on the device with just running the DM model twice, but we're hoping, if you guys saw the TinyGrad update in the Dev Open Pilot channel, they are working on their DSP runtime for Qualcomm, and hopefully we can kick the DM model back to the DSP, and then use all the power that DM is essentially using a watt of the GPU, and around 25 milliseconds, and we can just give that to the driving model, ship bigger models, and we'll max out the driving models on the 845. Max out as far as like runtime, but not max out as far as like driving performance, obviously. You know, you can improve the weights, but it's just like a conceptual thing of like, you know, we've lived with this headroom for so long, but we just want to max it out and then keep improving it from there. Yeah, we want to ship we essentially want to max out the 3X this year and then also ship the GPU box such that you have two classes of models and we'll just ship the best ones we can for each. Is there a way to contact comma.ai? You just did. You know, they don't have a phone number or anything. It's this Discord. All right. So yeah, 099. We're gonna also try to ship bigger models. We'll see. And then I guess it's time for the Connect check-in. Cameron, do you want to do the intro for that? Talk about Connect.
Hey, I was wondering if Shane was going to be at this one because he's been helping out a lot with New Connect, but he's not here. So
I can stand in for Shane a bit, but I wouldn't expect him at these calls. He's on a slightly different schedule.
yeah. No, he's just been since last week. I guess I don't know. Do you want like the summary of what the
So I mean,
plan
we can
was?
poke around with Connect. Let's see. So I got Connect pulled up here. Can poke around with it. So it looks a bit different now. That's just my desk. Let's go to a car that maybe has some Q cams uploaded. So this is what it looks like now. You can copy and go to user admin. It's got distance and engaged. There's still very little contrast. On my Mac, this looks fine. On my workstation monitor, this everything looks the same. Let's see, how does that look? So I got the upload queue. We should fix this. I don't like that this is another format. It should have a slash. So it should be the same format we use everywhere.
Cool. Okay.
At least for the segment. I don't know about. It's fine, I guess, if the file type maybe
File,
isn't.
yeah.
Yeah, but at least the segment should match. This shouldn't be like some new format. This little X looks real tiny. I mean, these are all very minor. Nitpicks. It's just does cancel all work?
It does, but it's not optimistic, so it waits for the response from the device first. So that
Let's see.
is a to-do.
Okay, so this is fast now. Oh, no. Does this work?
Oh,
So
it's
this,
still there is still delays. So basically, it it's kind of hanging up on fetching all of the events and stuff still. So we're that there is a bunch of PRs open that fixes stuff, but we want to actually fix it in the
oof,
right way. So
what happened here? Or this is just the length
oh,
of this
that
route?
must be a very short video. Yeah,
Okay. Hmm.
I've not seen that before.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I was like really trying to drive home the point of the like the bad state thing. So where
Oh,
is
what
that?
would you want it to do in that case? Just not play the
Well, I
video?
think we may just want to add, in this case, what I would probably do is add some like cooldown time before it loops back. If you just added like a second or two, it would probably look a lot better and it'd be more obvious what's going on. And then maybe add a clip so this is at least like 1 second. Maybe
Yeah,
something like that. But like, I don't know, clearly this looks very broken, right? But it is a valid route. I think Current Connect hides these actually.
yeah, I
I don't
think
know
it does.
about that, but maybe there should be like a warning. It should definitely be handled better. Yeah, is this? Oh yeah. Why can't I? The problem yeah, you gotta be really careful with these custom video players. Like now I can't hit spacebar. It looks very nice, but yeah, we gotta make sure we handle all the normal interactions. Yeah, like look at like what's up with this?
Oh,
We
I
gotta
got
yeah, we
Shane
gotta move a
clip.
lot slower with Connect and like really what Shane's doing. Yeah, I think Shane has done a great job of pushing on the quality here. It's really important. Like there's all these like little bugs that we've seen, and it's just like there should really be like massive alarm bells. Like, oh, anytime you see one of these things, you'd be like, whoa, 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 what is causing the issue here? And we need to fundamentally fix this. Um, I don't know that. Yeah, I'm not that familiar with the actual code on any of this. So Shane is you or Shane are the ones to talk about that. So I can't speak to that very specifically. But like you know, we do have to make sure there's fundamentally no reason any of this stuff is slow, and it should feel very snappy. So that's kind of the important thing. I don't see a reason to loop the video playback. So when you do like the little, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's because we don't have that zoom kind of thing in yet still.
Yeah,
So we will need it for that.
yeah. What is this
Yeah,
site made in?
there's an
Solid
issue
JS.
open for that. The playback, sorry. There was just a question about the playback speed. There is an issue open for that. We use Solid and Tailwind.
But I don't know. I was like poking around the repo, and there's a lot of like config files and stuff, and we don't play videos properly all the time. Like, I don't know. I just get very skeptical when I see like this many. Whoa, PS1. We support Windows too?
I was using my laptop, so I just made a
Okay,
tiny
okay. If you're
script
using
and just
Windows, sure. I just didn't want to support Windows for the sake of Windows.
yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
That's the only bit of Windows, one line of PowerShell. So
Okay, okay. Fair enough. Uh, there's just like a lot of config files in here, and Connect really doesn't do anything well yet. I'm very skeptical.
I don't know. I just that that is kind of what you need. It is really I just feel like it's just super complicated just to do any of this stuff. Like PWA, I need to know that there's like 10 different splash screen resolutions you need to support for
Wait, but all the
Apple.
browsers handle this, right? If you just give them like some generic size, they'll handle it, right? I've never seen one that
No,
doesn't.
no. Apple needs a splash screen for each resolution. So that's why I was using the asset generator.
I mean, can
So
we
that
not
I did.
handle this with like one little script that uses like FFmpeg to just
Yeah,
do
but then
this?
I need to know when Apple releases a new resolution and
Wait, but that
add
never
that to my
happens.
script. It
That never
does. When
happens,
they
right?
bring a new phone out, so it has changed since Old Connect. So we have a few more than Old Connect had in its HTML.
I
But
don't know, there's not that much stuff you need to do for a PWA, right? Like, you need some, like, little header tags, you need, like, to generate the assets, but, like, you know, if you ask ChatGPT to just spit out a little bash script that takes in one asset and then generates all the accompanying assets, like, it'll just do it for you, right? And then this is, like, a super understandable script that has a very clear input and output. But, like, we have this dependency for the PWA thing, right? And I have no idea what this thing does. And it's like, there's no way to even read into... Okay, let's see. Head link optional preset 2023. What is
it's
this?
just
Like, I
it's
don't even
just
know.
I'd rather not learn what's required. I'd rather just run the script and it just makes it from the one image.
But, like, there isn't that much required. Like, for a PWA, you need some, like... Okay, let's see. Go see Apple PWA. There's, like, pretty good docs on this. Apple docs. Yeah. Yeah, like, you need to throw these in there. You need some
That's
sizes.
not up to date. That's not up to date because it doesn't. It has. If you search for Apple web app capable, it'll come up with like a post on web dev saying don't add this or it'll fall back to some other type of PWA. There's just so many gotchas, and I I guess you could spend the time to write this yourself. I just felt like it was easier to add the script to generate it.
So generally, it is easier to get something that vaguely does something. But then as soon as you run into an issue, like, what do you do then, right? That's the real problem with this stuff. And it's like, Current Connect has all these problems around, like, updating itself, right? And, like, we have... I mean, do we ever even get to the bottom of those? And it's like, this should be, like, the simplest thing ever on the web. The beauty of the web is you always get the latest version of everything, right? That's one of the beautiful things about it.
Oh, you talking about the service worker? Yeah. I think I don't remember what the resolution was with Old Connect.
But yeah, okay, so you guys are saying, like, the docs were updated 5 to 10 years ago? I think that's a feature more so than a bug, right? Like, I understand the browsers move pretty quickly, but the JavaScript ecosystem moves way too fast, really for nothing. Like, how many web experiences do you have these days that are like that are you're happy that you had? I like there's like this guy on Twitter who made like this, I think it's called React Scan. And he just shames all these companies into like, he finally shamed GitHub into fixing some of their shit performance. He's got these like really great let's see the demo. See React. Where does this guy have like highlights or something? It's like this really disgusting stuff on GitHub. Oh, this guy tweets too much. It's gonna be hard to find. But like, it becomes so obvious why this stuff sucks, and you like don't enjoy using it, right? Like,
Yeah,
you can't really look
I
around
saw
GitHub.
like the tweets of like Slack, just showing all the refresh. There was like some way you just typing in the message box and the whole page would re-render.
Oh my god, it's so bad. Yeah. And I think like falling into the trap of like, oh, this hasn't been updated. And it's like, you could totally opt out of that. That's like one of the reasons we're going from like Qt to Raylib, right? We have no hope of going to like Qt6. Qt6 doesn't have all the features Qt5 has, but we'd be forced to update to it because on 2404 it's not supported, but we have an old Weston. So what we're doing with Raylib is we're essentially going to delete all of this, and we are going to get rid of Weston too. And we'll have this nice single static library that will never ever change because we don't need it to change, and it'll be way better than our Qt thing. And I think this is it. It may be a bit harder to do this for the web, but it may be a
I
little
don't
bit
know.
less
I feel like
obvious.
this is just the wrong fight to pick, though. This is the wrong example because with the PWA assets, they're generated and they go in the dist file. And if we want to stop using that script, we can just copy all the assets out of the dist file and go from there and do it ourselves from there. Like it's easy to opt out of this. But I take what you're saying about adding dependencies when there's just no need to add a dependency. But I think for this example, it's pretty easy for us to drop it because It's
Yeah,
just
I mean,
I think
I
it'll
don't know
be
about this
the
specific
results.
dependency, but I have built PWAs in the past, and it's like really not that complicated to get everything set up. I don't know what a service worker is. I mean, like, I don't really understand what a service worker is. I don't really understand why it's necessary for a PWA. Um, but in any case, I think Shane has driven home the point, and I just supplemented it a bit here. And I feel like it's getting better. It's getting better. But it is really important that we nail this stuff, and this is the whole point of rewriting it, such that it is maintainable and we can keep improving it and add like nice features like streaming.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Of course, we want to get to the cool stuff.
Yes, yes. But we have to like do the just play videos, play your dashcam videos extraordinarily reliably, and then we can move on to this. But like when these things go wrong, they're generally like very fundamental things that need to be rethought more so than like, okay, I need to add a little code here to handle this and add a little code here. And it's worth the time to go and say like, okay, I'm going to spend a whole day or a week even and just say, okay, why did this thing happen? And do I need to rip something out? Do I need to rewrite something? Um, and like, it's important to spend the time to get things fundamentally set up such that the performant and the best way to write something is the easier way to write it. And it's you have to like write things defensively such that uh, the less performant thing is not the obvious thing to write. Like it should be hard to write bugs. And it's really worth thinking about like how can I make it really, really hard to write bugs? Or how can I make it really obvious that there is a bug? Like there should be very few special cases, all sorts of stuff like this. But yeah, this is we can just poke around Connect again, just show the current state of it, and then I think move on unless you have anything else to add, Cameron.
No, I think we're just grinding away to try and figure out the simplest way of doing things. There's not. It's really hard also for me to just remember what the state was last week. Like I couldn't tell you what features were here last week and what's new. So it's good that you have a look and highlight the differences.
So we got the flag thing. That's cool. The video player's new. Uh, I think this whole thing is pretty. Yeah,
Oh
this.
yeah.
Wow. What if I didn't allow? What happens? Okay, so we gotta handle that. Do we know if they denied permission? I mean, we must be able to know, right?
Probably do, yeah.
Uh, cool. So this is the state of Connect currently. All right. And then we can move on. Gotta scroll up for the agenda here. Oh, Tesla and Rivian are in stock. So Tesla Hardware 3 is now in stock. I think we shipped all those out yesterday. Rivian, we got the first batch of 100 in. All of those have been sold. So there will still be a slight back order. But those first 100 will go out very soon. We shipped 2 to testers just to confirm they're all good. Gary's one of them in here. I hear he's going to record a very nice video. But on the website, we got to add, do we have an update on the shipping the custom setup instructions?
Sorry, if we have skipping the setup instructions?
No. So we had the thing, we wanted to add something to OpenDBC where you can add like custom markdown instructions, and then it'll just throw it in comma.ai/setup with a dropdown. Remember?
Oh, yeah. There's a PR open, but I haven't had a chance in the last week to review it. I think
I mean,
my
yeah, if it's not good, you might want to just do it yourself. It's slightly more critical to do now.
we had back and forth and split some stuff out, but I just haven't had the chance to look at it since it was rebased, I think.
Okay.
I'm not even sure if it was rebased.
Okay. Do you think we can get it in the next couple days? And then we can because I'm thinking we essentially I think we want to have a slot for an install video, and we put like a YouTube video, and then just we render some custom markdown on the left. So it's just like a 2-column thing. And then there's a drop down on top that says like select your car.
Okay, so we already have like the those video links in OpenDBC, don't we?
Yeah, I think those are like driving videos. I think we want to have another one for an
Oh,
install
okay,
video. Yeah.
sure. You'd like that in in the next couple of days?
Yeah, I want that in such that the Tesla, I mean, the Rivian install is like impossible without instructions or a video. So I want to make sure those people have a good time.
Okay. Yeah, I can have a look at that.
I don't think we need to go overkill. I think eventually we want to have it so that you can do like really custom, like native instructions. But for this, I think let's just ship like a very simple like V1 that just takes in custom markdown and then just renders it on top of the setup instructions.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think we just keep it super simple. We see how it goes. Um, cool. Gary, did you already try the harness? So as soon as you say the harness is good, we will be shipping out those first 100. Should arrive today. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Do you have the difficult Rivian or the easy Rivian? I hear there's two. I hear there's also variations on the EPS, which is unfortunate. Okay, you got the easy one. All right, all right. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. And then I think Tesla Hardware 4 should be in soon. We're still trying to work on connectors for that. We can't source one of the connectors, so we're gonna have to get a little creative. What else is up next? Oh, PRs and docs. I mean, we've already gone for 37 minutes, so I guess don't quite have time for that. I'm happy to answer any more questions, or I can take a look at specific stuff on reviewing Secock long. Uh, let's see. It looks like Shane has already reviewed it. Update package management for UI preview. Do we need this? What does this fix, Sonny?
Hello.
Yo, welcome, Sonny.
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, so this fixes the UI preview. So if there's a change in the on the UI directory and it's trying to do the find diff, it will actually fail because somehow it's saying that the IP is not found. So we just added this to run a apt-get update before it does the install, and it'll fix the issue. Yeah, that's the error if we don't do the update beforehand.
Oh, that's annoying. Okay. I guess we
Yeah,
have to do it.
cool. Thank you.
Secock long. Let's see. And this tuning thing. Okay. Tuning. Did you try torque control? Did you try torque control, Marco the Dingo? Because we really don't want to merge any more PRs that look like this. That are just like, oh, I drove with this, you know, I tuned it, I look at the plots, they look a little better. Doesn't work on Hondas. Oh, okay. I'm not that familiar with Hondas. Let's see. Okay. So what we used to do back in the day for PRs like this is I think this is slightly tricky because the 2022 Civic is one of the first Hondas with some usable amount of torque. What we used to do for this is we got a couple other people with the car to drive on it and just agree that it was better, and then we look at the plots and then we merge it. So if you can get like two other people with the same car to drive it and say like, yep, I like this better, and then we'll look at the plots, then I think we can go ahead and merge. Sound good? Cool. And then we had one more. We had the Secock long. That's really a Shane one, but I can take a quick look, see if there's anything blocking it. Long term, blah, blah, blah. Aside from that, looks good to me. Cool, you can include a test route. That's great. Sec.awk tx messages. Wait, so you made so do we get the radar points on these Sec.awk cars or not?
We do.
We do. So we
Yeah,
do parse the radar on
in
these.
that chain review was that it's more sparse than the current TSS2, but there are radar tracks that are found.
Oh, that's slightly concerning. Add a counter. Yeah, so. Ugh, that should be cleaned up, but it's not. Seems, this is all kind of ugly, but radar diagnostic address. Why do you need that? If it's default on, you shouldn't need this.
Yeah, I remember that was removed. I'm not sure what's back again.
I don't understand this comment. Oh. All right, I don't know. I don't really have any more context, but I found some stuff to comment on. So there you go. Every time I try torque blending on Tesla, no, I probably will not. That's all Shane. I don't know, but I've heard from multiple people that it's not good. I don't know. Robert tried a whole bunch of things to make it work on his Model S back in the day. He got something working, but it was unshippable. Honda Torque D. Yeah, it needs time to validate for this CANFD radar parser. Params learn unstable during dynamic driving. Why is Honda in particular affected by this? I'm not familiar with this issue, but I don't see why Honda in particular would be affected by this. Even just disabling this age on steer works. Wait, what do you mean? Have you like driven another OpenPilot car and it feels comparable to that? Like the wheel fights you a lot. Disabling the disengage on steer, I don't see how that would work. It would just fight you all the time. Like OpenPilot feels collaborative on other cars. It's not about like, yeah, it like it can't fight you at all. I've had OP on an e-Golf. And you think it feels comparable. Is there like a certain branch I should try? It's not quite as smooth. Yeah, I mean, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. I mean, it's important to do this well if we're going to do it. We can't just like, yeah, we can't just ship something jank just for the sake of it. Like if you don't do torque blending properly, then it's just, you really never ever want to fight the system. at higher speeds it's comparable. I mean, yeah, it needs to feel comparable all the time. Otherwise, we can't ship it. Not sure. It sounds like a real problem. Maybe Casper can look into this after he ships LagD. All right, cool. Any final thoughts, questions? 099, who's excited? Big models and Tomb Raider. Cool. Very cool. It's just a hack right now, probably cleaned up. No, I don't think so. I think it's very fundamental. That's the problem. Very fundamental. Cool. I think that's it for this call. Hopefully next week we have some more, maybe some LagD stuff is merged, maybe Tomb Raiders in, some Connect progress, maybe we ship Connect. Yeah. Should be a good time. Maybe Deanly will pop back up and work on that Ray lib rewrite. We will see. All right, thanks for joining, everybody. I'll see you guys next week.
All right.
Yeah.
See you next week.